Gervonta Tank Davis may be facing a lawsuit over claims related to Ryan Garcia. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, loose lips sink ships. Sometimes there's ramifications and repercussions for saying the things that you say, and Gervonta Davis may be facing them, as he had made some very, very, very heated comments about Ryan Garcia's positive performance enhancement test, and the perpetrator, or the person, the accused, seemingly accused person, seems like they said that they are considering a lawsuit. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you very, very much for your continued support. It means a lot. So, Gervonta Davis says Ryan Garcia, he didn't believe Ryan Garcia's performance enhancing, the test, and he was backing Ryan because he doesn't believe it. He gave some reasons why he didn't believe it, but he also said, hey man, go look at Eddie Hearn and all, Eddie Hearn's Silver Spoon Kid and the things that he's done, right? As to why he doesn't believe that Ryan Garcia really did what he did. And it seemed he implied that it was Eddie Hearn. It was Eddie Hearn and Matchroom that had something to do with Ryan Garcia popping dirty. As a result, Eddie Hearn comes out and says that that is defamation, and they are considering a lawsuit against Gervonta Davis for saying it. He said that he reached out to Gervonta on DM and told him that was some BS, and he didn't appreciate him putting his stuff on, that out there. So, the next step for Eddie Hearn would to send a cease and desist letter and tell Gervonta not to do that anymore and to ask him to publicly apologize. Now, this would not be the first time that Eddie Hearn has done that. Eddie Hearn was also blamed by Jessica McCaskill, who believed Eddie Hearn had something to do with Alyssa Bumgarner's positive test, and said, look, man, Eddie Hearn did this. I don't believe that it's coincidental that Alyssa Bumgarner contract with Matchroom was up, and she was looking at other options. At least that's my memory of what was being said. And all of a sudden she pops dirty. I don't buy it. So Eddie Hearn got mad about that. Jessica McCaskill winds up issuing a retraction and saying, hey, that she does not believe that Eddie Hearn had anything to do with it, and yada 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 yada. Avoids getting sued, all the nine, all that. And also you have another guy who in Blair Cobb, can't remember all of the details around Blair Cobb, but Blair Cobb also says something around that related to maybe it was Oscar De La Hoya but another promoter, and they went at him, and he basically backed off, did the same thing. But then Blair Cobb, who's real funny, started using the word allegedly around it, but still was like, man, I still believe it, because man, these dudes out here are crooked. Now, what's the chance that Gervonta Davis is going to get in trouble for what he said? If I recall what he said correctly, I don't think he has any doubt. There's not going to be any issue with that, because all he did is say, hey, man, that's what he thinks. He's like, it looks like to me something that Eddie Hearn would do. That's not blatantly accusing him of it. And it's definitely not anything that he knows is false for sure. So, the threat of a lawsuit for defamation based off what I heard sounds like, nah. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. I would just think, hey, man, let's chalk that up to somebody just talking smack and saying that that's what they believe, that they suspect that to be the case. And it is not defamation to say you suspect somebody of something, because that is a suspicion. It is not you telling me that, not telling you that they did it, and people being out there, oh, well, yeah, it's been reported that you've done it. Not a good look all the way around. No, I agree. And people should probably not do that because it's unfair to Eddie Hearn, right? Because Eddie Hearn has, as he has said, had a lot of people popping dirty. A lot of people pop dirty with Eddie Hearn on VADA. So if he had the ability to affect tests being positive or negative, then maybe a couple of the people that popped dirty wouldn't have popped dirty, right? But at the end of the day, man, no harm, no foul is in my opinion, no harm, no foul. I don't think anything's going to happen to that, man. And also, Gervonta Davis also clarified some things that he had said about Turki Al-Sheikh and working with Turki Al-Sheikh, and basically said that, look, the reason that he said the things that he said about Turki Al-Sheikh was that he doesn't need Turki Al-Sheikh to earn the type of money that they're earning over in Saudi Arabia, that he can earn that money in the United States. And I think that there's always been some soreness between Eddie Hearn and Gervonta Davis, because, you know, Gervonta Davis is the type of dude that really doesn't need Eddie Hearn, doesn't need that particular entity, and is the marker of success for the main competition that there is out there for DAZN, which is the PBC. And actually, I should probably switch that around and say the DAZN and all that stuff is the main competition for the PBC, because in my opinion, the PBC it's a more successful outlet, especially up in the United States, man. But I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on with this test. Again, you know, I've done videos about it. People jump to the conclusion that Ryan Garcia is guilty of cheating. And again, that is not how it works. You don't just pop for something and then there's no investigation in it. There's no due diligence done. People do get an opportunity to say what it is that happened. I have to admit that the time that I paid attention to performance enhancing drugs, and I didn't understand as much as I did, because honestly, I really didn't want to understand that well. It's a very complicated, it's a seemingly complicated subject. In order to speak on it, you have to have a certain amount of understanding on it. Well, with Alyssa Baumgardner, and as more and more times this stuff happened, I started paying more attention to, and there are examples of people having false positives. And like in an initial screening for a drug, you can get a false positive. That's why they moved to the IRMS test. And then with the IRMS test, which detects the actual presence of it and verifies it is there, people still can wind up having a positive sample because of contamination. That is a very real thing. And people deserve, in my opinion, to have their day in court. The bad thing is, though, I think, is when people know that this is taking place and you don't have testing just all the way across the board for small fights, big fights, because you have people that can have over a long period of time learn how to cheat those systems. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. That's what's up with that lawsuit that was threatened. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.